Now at 5, caught on camera, the fire rescue that caused a traffic mess on the south side. And running dry, the serious warnings from city leaders about our water supply. Chris 6 News at 5 starts right now. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Suzanne Stevens. Clara has the night off. Tonight, a serious warning about the city's water supply. Leaders now say western reservoirs may not be rebound and the timeline of a level 1 water emergency could move up. A few hours ago, City Manager Peter Zanoni told me the prolonged drought and historically low lake levels are forcing the city to move faster, looking for new ways to secure water before conditions get worse. City leaders now say the city can't rely on that western supply the way it once could.
Choke Canyon, Lake Corpus Christi, those for decades have been the workhorse for water supply, but they are in dire condition today, and they're not going to rebound with one storm or one hurricane, and so we're having.
Expecting them to rebound at this point?
Maybe a year ago we were, but at this point we're almost to the point where we're expecting them not to.
Right.
Because of that outlook, officials say they're updating the water model this week. That's the model that determines when curtailment or a level 1 water emergency could begin.
They'll be looking at that, the inflows, predictability for rain, and may update that curtailment date. And so we'll report that out if that's the case.
According to Corpus Christi Water, staff is now fast-tracking multiple strategies, including deep groundwater wells and new treatment options. Some of those plans could go before City Council as soon as tomorrow. One proposal is a containerized brackish water treatment system connected to the city's western well field. We'll be there tomorrow and bring you the very latest on that. Meantime, tonight, here's a closer look at those dwindling lake levels. As of today, Choke Canyon Reservoir and Lake Corpus Christi are at 9.3% combined capacity, with stage 3 water use restrictions in effect. To give you a better idea of what it would take to get us out of this state, the combined lake levels would have to be at 50% of capacity for 15 days. In Kingsville, a Valentine's Day storm hit pretty hard. This is video of some of the damage. Neighborhood News reporter Stephanie Molina spoke with a woman who heard it all unfold.
And then all of a sudden I heard rain and I went outside to check it out. Opened the door and I closed the door and I just heard boom. Then the lights went out and water started coming into the trailer, and yeah, came outside and looked, seen my roof was gone.
Neighbors say they're glad no one was injured and are focusing on rebuilding. Now here's a preview of your forecast for the rest of the week. Not sure if there's any rain in it. Meteorologist Matt Hines from our sister station in Waco is filling in for Stephanie tonight.
Well, it has been very dry around here, and I wish I had some good news for you as far as rain across our area, but I really don't see a lot. What we saw over the weekend, a lot of that stayed to the north and east of here. So the drought monitor looking, well, not so good here across South Texas, and we will continue to have that at least through this week as our weather headlines are shaking out like this. Tonight, there will be some patchy fog around, and I think that's going to happen over the next couple of nights across the area as temperatures fall into the 60s. Then it looks like we're back to some 80s as we make our way toward the middle part of the week. But a cold front will be on the way as we head toward the weekend, and it looks like it'll be slightly cooler. This isn't going to be some big Arctic front making its way into our area. This is mainly going to drop us down into the 70s, maybe some 60s across our four northern areas. But I'll have the rest of your forecast, which is really nice. Just doesn't have a lot of rain in it coming up.
Corpus Christi firefighters battle an early morning fire, not in a building, but in a Tesla. Here's video sent to us by a Chris 6 News viewer. It happened around 3:30 this morning on Ennis Jocelyn Road near Alameda Drive. Police say the driver of this Tesla wrecked the car and then it burst into flames. Crews had to let the vehicle burn itself out. Assistant Chief Tony Perez tells Chris 6 News they do carry special blankets designed for these types of emergencies, but those blankets are for small fires. No one was injured. An investigation is underway on the city's west side tonight after a deadly shooting this afternoon. It happened at a home on Secretariat, that's in the Los Encinos neighborhood. Police say a resident was arguing with an employee of a South Side business. That argument led to a shooting that left the employee dead. Investigators say at least a dozen shots were fired. The homeowner and several witnesses were detained by police, but so far no charges have been filed. A deadly accident at the Salina Auditorium that left a subcontractor dead is under investigation by OSHA. As we reported in November, Anthony Alcazar was working on a catwalk without a harness when he fell 60 feet and later died from his injuries. The catwalk that he was on only had handrails on one side. At the time, the city's risk management office told us that OSHA standards require harnesses to be used. OSHA tells us the investigation could take up to 6 months to complete. The city of Taft has settled a lawsuit with its former police chief. A copy of that settlement obtained by 6 Investigate showed John Landreth was awarded $180,000. The settlement also included a letter from the current city council addressing alleged threats made by Landreth last year. As previously reported, the former Taft city council attempted to fire Landreth 4 times over the course of a year. The council eventually terminated him in April after he allegedly threatened council members during executive session. Landreth tells neighborhood news reporter Adam Beam he's ready to move forward. He just wishes it didn't come at the expense of Taft residents.
And at the end of the day, that's who pays. The people pay, the citizens pay. The attorneys win, I win, but the citizens lose. And that's with every lawsuit.
Landreth can no longer serve as police chief, but he will be serving as a reserve deputy for the county constable precinct that covers Taft. Also in Taft tonight, one day after the council voted 4-1 to oust city manager Ryan Smith, Smith has filed a formal grievance. He calls his termination unlawful and retaliatory and claims the council violated his contract by skipping a required written performance review. Smith also alleges the move is retaliation for a lawsuit he filed against the mayor and council members and for reporting what he calls Open Meetings Act violations to the Texas Attorney General. The council argues his contract severance clause gives them the right to end his employment with or without cause as long as they provide 30 days written notice and pay his severance. That same clause waives Smith's right to contest the termination. His last day is March 15th. The council is set to meet in a special session to consider placing Smith on administrative leave through that date. Tonight, as the Justice Department battles critics after saying all of the Epstein files have been released, we're taking a deeper dive into one of the more emotional and dark findings, a young girl's diary. Alex Miller reports.
I can't go to school like this. Those are words written by a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, pouring her heart onto the pages of her diary. The girl fills pages with trauma and poems, but also high school graduation cards, a stark contrast of a childhood interrupted by violence.
I think the diary was one of the most striking pieces of evidence that I've come across in the probably tens of thousands of pages of the Epstein files that I've reviewed thus far. I found it incredibly disturbing.
Eliza Orleans, a career public defender who has been poring over millions of Epstein files, says this diary stands out. The dozens of diary pages made public focus on the repeated abuse the girl was enduring, including multiple pregnancies. In real time, she gives excruciating details of going through childbirth, with Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly in the room, and of her baby, born alive, being taken away. She asks herself, why didn't I close my eyes fast enough? Maxwell, she explains, said to close my eyes and put her hands over my eyes. I can't bring myself to write what happened, the girl writes in code in a separate entry. I'm beyond broken. I only got 10 to 15 minutes to hold and feed her before they took her. She is mine. I want her back. Distraught. She glued an image of a sonogram to the same undated page and refers to multiple pregnancies. Tomorrow is the halfway ultrasound for Jeffrey. This one stuck. After they took the first baby who survived in the early miscarriage, I think it was called, I no longer feel like a person, but a vessel. Will they take this one too? In the style of teenage girls who use magazine clippings to make posters for their bedroom, this girl is gluing words to describe her abuse.
She was basically a sex slave. She was put through forced birth. She was put through so much trauma and horror.
The pages filled with prayers begging to be released from this torture and hell. To date, there are no known related investigations or charges.
We all should be screaming and yelling and talking about why there weren't investigations, why there weren't certain searches, why prosecutions weren't brought, why sweetheart deals were given.
Alex Miller, Scripps News Group, New York.
The FBI will not be sharing evidence with state investigators about the shooting of Alex Preddy. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension said in a statement it will not provide access to any information or evidence collected in the January 24th shooting. State investigators also requested information on the shootings of Renee Good and Julio Sosa Celius. It's unclear if there will be cooperation in those cases. Still to come tonight, travel plans on hold. TSA agents are still working without pay. We'll show you how this latest government shutdown could affect your next flight. The partial government shutdown is making an impact on airports and travelers. 95% of TSA agents are deemed essential and are being told to keep working during the shutdown without pay. Last week, Congress failed to approve funding for the Department of Homeland Security, which includes TSA. Employees are still feeling impacts from the last shutdown.
We're subject to late fees from missed bill payments, eviction notices, loss of childcare, and more. Some are just recovering from the financial impact of the 43-day shutdown. Many are still reeling from it.
Air traffic controllers are not affected by this shutdown, meaning widespread flight delays and cancellations are unlikely. Negotiations to end the shutdown are happening behind closed doors. Congress is on recess until Monday. At this time, there are no disruptions at Corpus Christi International Airport. All departures and arrivals are running on time. If you have a warrant with Corpus Christi, the grace period for this year's warrant roundup is underway. That means people with outstanding city warrants or citations can avoid a trip to jail by taking care of them now. Don't have enough money? That's okay. The municipal court will work out a payment plan with you. The amnesty period ends February 28th. Warrant roundup begins Sunday, March 1st.
Being Black in Corpus Christi. I'm Jada Jenkins, and we'll hear how some residents still feel underrepresented and how some local families are working to keep their history alive.
Well, it looks like things are going to be really nice as we make our way through the next several days around here across South Texas and the coastal bend. But it's going to be temperatures into the upper 70s on Tuesday. We're going to be as high as 85 degrees as we make our way toward the end of the week on Thursday. A cold front's going to be north of us. I really don't think that's going to get in here until we hit Friday night going into Saturday. Even then, it's not really going to drop us off from the lower 80s into the upper 70s. But it should be a nice weekend around here. Any rain chances will stay away, and I know we definitely need the rain, but temperatures coming down from the upper 70s into the low 70s, maybe upper 60s as we head toward early next week. But all in all, it's still going to be dry across the region. There's going to be a lot of wind as you head up to northwest Texas. The Panhandle, see the system coming out of New Mexico. Winds could gust as high as 60 miles per hour as we get into the Panhandle for tomorrow. And for us, it's also going to kick up the winds here. Nothing like West Texas, but we'll probably see gusts up to 25 miles per hour here as that entire system moves into the plains. But again, the main dynamics are well to the north of our area. Just a couple of passing clouds here and there across our region, and that is about it. So our extended future track looking like this. As we make our way into Tuesday, things are going to be relatively quiet. Again, some patchy fog will be possible during the morning hours. As we head into Wednesday morning, notice low clouds, some low clouds and fog will be possible here across the region, especially from Corpus Christi up to the north, and then as you head along Padre Island to the south as well. That's where we're going to be seeing some of that, and then it just goes away very quickly. So any moisture that we're going to have is going to be in the form of fog, and that is going to be it over the next few days. As we head into Thursday morning, once again, you can see some foggy conditions here across the area, but we're not anticipating anything too significant across our region. So for for tonight. It looks like along the coast, temperatures stay into the 60s. Move farther inland, though, temperatures will be into the 50s from Goliad as you head back toward Alice as well, between 55 and 59 out there, and Cotulla at 57. But again, Corpus Christi and east, you're going to be into the low to mid 60s as some of that patchy fog moves in. And for tomorrow, highs will make it into the 70s again, getting some of that breeze off the water, helping us out here. But you go farther inland, look out to the west. Cotulla at 90 degrees for tomorrow, and 90 as you head across our far southwestern areas. But again, here looks like 70s for us in town. But it does warm up in a hurry as you head farther to the west. And looking at your forecast, 79 degrees on Tuesday, 81 on Wednesday, 85 Thursday. Lows at night into the 60s. Again, some patchy fog will be possible. Then as we make our way into the weekend and early next week, looks like we will cool off a little bit with a little more sunshine and northerly winds and highs in the 60s and 70s.
As we continue to celebrate Black History Month, Black residents make up about 4% of the population, making it one of the smallest racial groups in the city of Corpus Christi. But still, residents here say they're doing everything they can to still feel represented and seen. I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jada Jenkins, speaking with community members about what the Black experience is like in Corpus Christi today. How does it feel being Black in Corpus Christi?
I sat down with Desiree G., the creator of Black Corpus Christi Facebook page. She tells me she moved from New York to Corpus Christi when she joined the Navy. She says coming from a diverse city was a major culture shock.
Not having Black spaces to be able to go to.
Little things, she says, she took for granted.
I realized that I was very lonely.
She says she may see 3 or 4 Black people a week and make sure no one else feels as lonely as she does.
I'm like, oh my God, when'd you get here? Hello. And I'll go introduce myself to people all the time.
I made a post in the Facebook group asking other neighbors about their experiences. I got comments like they feel misunderstood and underrepresented. And many even shared pictures of their family and friends with me. Over 3,000 people in the community joined the page over the past few years.
I definitely didn't think it was going to pop off as much as it has.
I asked her what her response is to critics of the group. She tells me in a time of political uncertainty, she feels it's necessary to have a safe space.
People in the group are being open and honest about it, about how that looks for us in Black spaces, in Corpus, out of Corpus, everywhere.
Over on the west side, Micah Kane walked me through the Black history section of her home. Her family is filled with Black pioneers in the city. We reported about her grandmother and uncle being the first to create Juneteenth celebrations in the city decades ago. She says feeling like an other in her own city is sometimes hurtful.
It was really hard navigating my identity.
But she tells me despite the struggles, she wouldn't want to be anything else.
I am who I am. We are who we are. And we love that. I love me. I love being Black.
Showing that this small community has a big history and an even bigger sense of pride.
People here say visibility and connection are what will strengthen the Black experience, especially for the next generations to come. In Corpus Christi, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jada Jenkins, Chris 6 News.
Still to come tonight, we love a good Girl Scout cookie story, and this one is all about a young girl's sweet success. We'll show you how her hard work paid off when we come back.
Stop and think about the people who really need it, and then try to do them a favor as well.
And vandalism at a Pittsburgh shopping center. The unusual act that has witnesses spilling the beans. That has happened before.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Cars in the Pittsburgh area are being vandalized with, of all things, baked beans. A business owner says they were used to vandalize his car after they were taken from a food pantry outside of his front door a few months ago.
To take from there to create, vandalism or as a prank or whatever is pretty sad. It's pretty frustrating that people were willing to stoop that low.
And reportedly, this is not the first time it's happened. It happened to another person at a bowling center a couple months back. Talk about sweet success. One young Girl Scout just turned cookie season into a record-breaking moment. 6-year-old Pim Neal just sold more than 75,000 boxes of cookies, largely aided by viral TikTok marketing and extensive door-to-door sales. And this monumental effort paid off, with Neal selling 20,000 boxes in a single day. The most dramatic type of solar eclipse is happening tomorrow. The so-called Ring of Fire occurs in only some eclipses. It's when the moon is far enough away to cover the sun entirely, but still appear smaller. That's when you can see the rays of the sun encircle the moon in a spectacular sight. The bad news is you'll probably only be able to see it if you're one of the precious few people in Antarctica, though many people in South America and Africa will see a partial version of it. Before we go tonight, let's check in one last time with the forecast with Matt Hines.
Well, things are going to remain dry around here, but we are going to have some patchy morning fog over the next several mornings. So we will have that to contend with as that comes off the Gulf. But other than that, I don't see any significant rain chances moving into the area. Now, it will be a little breezy tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 25 at times. It's going to be nice, 79 degrees for a high. Lows at night are going to be into the middle 60s. And again, that's when we can see some fog out there. 81 degrees on Wednesday, Thursday at 85 degrees. Then as we make our way toward the weekend, it may start to come down just a little bit. We're going to go 82 on Friday. Front will still be north of us. As that moves through, most of the dynamics for any rain will stay north of our area. So that's why I'm keeping it dry for now, Friday into Saturday. As that front gets closer to the area, then it may drop us maybe into the upper 60s to near 70 as we head toward early next week.
Matt, thank you. That'll do it for us for Chris 6 News at 5. We'll be right back here at 6 for more news in your neighborhood. Have a great evening. We'll see you then.